Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Northern Countdown. I am none other than your friendly neighborhood Lego Soda, joined by Lego Ben and 50 Shades of Lego, who's eating the biggest freaking cracker I've ever seen in my life.
That's why it's called a matza soda.
Oh,
You never heard
what
it?
it is.
You never heard of matza?
No, I've heard of it.
Wow.
I've never seen it.
Oh, wow.
You two are my only Jewish friends.
Well, that's a bold-faced lie because I was eating a matzah in our Passover show last year.
Last year, I was in the midst of a 1.5 year long weed binge and barely remember.
All right, then.
So I'm sorry, I don't remember. I remember we talked about it, you, me, Ben, and Saul. I do remember, but I mean, I don't remember actually seeing it.
Anyways, happy Passover.
Yes, happy Passover for you too. For me, it's Easter weekend.
Happy Easter.
Thank you. Get to have grandma's cooking. It's going to be awesome. Got some family in town. One of those in the living room driving me nuts.
I mean, telling my family, this is one of the few years when Passover and Easter collide on the same weekend.
Yeah, I don't recall that ever happening. Like, yeah, it might have, but I don't
usually
remember.
like 2 or 3 weeks apart, so it's weird that it happened this year.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But hey, perfect timing. Now we're gonna have a really fun list today. I said this to 50 off camera. This is the best list we've ever had. These are the one that got me engaged the fastest. I already had my first choice for the list right after we finished last show. 2 days later, I had like 16 possible contenders.
This is a list that I have compiled in my brain for years, and I can't wait to finally get to talk about it on this show.
I'm not surprised.
This is a list years in the making.
By the way, 50, how far are you in Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga? I'm on episode 2.
Well, you know how I said last week that I'll do a live stream after the show? Well, I didn't. So I'm still stuck on. I just finished episode 1 a week and a half ago, and
nice.
I'm hoping to do another one today.
Yeah, I'm about to
go disappointed.
Misa too.
Quick review of it so far. I wish it didn't condense so much. You know what I mean? That's more like I'm enjoying the gameplay. I really do like it. Obviously, the humor's still on point and stuff like that, but it's just they condense the stories, so it's a little weird.
Yeah, that's what I said last week. Fun fact, though, on episode 2, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but some people have pointed it out to me. When Attack of the Clones Anakin Skywalker ignites his lightsaber indoors, it's green for some reason.
Oh,
whenever it's outside, it's blue.
I haven't had.
I saw it online, and as I mentioned, haven't had a chance to do it myself. But it's something pretty interesting to look into.
Yeah, when I hop on later, probably when family's gone or what have you, I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, 50. Introduce the list and why. Even
well, obviously, as we just talked about, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga finally came out after such a long break, and about a week or so before the actual game launched, TT Games has come out with an announcement that they're already planning another game, and as the announcement says, it will be based on a major IP. So I figured let's just have some fun with it. I love the Lego games. It's been great to finally get a Lego game after so many years of waiting. So let's just see what kind of Lego games do we want next. And as I said last week, they can either be both a property that hasn't had a Lego game yet, or a pre-existing one that could use a Skywalker Saga styled something. And also, I'm allowing franchises that aren't official Lego lines. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Majority of these, including my honorable mentions, majority of them I don't think were featured in Lego Dimensions, so I don't know. These might all be original for me. I don't know.
I'm a bit half and half. Like
Oh yeah.
half of mine are official Lego stuff, and half aren't.
Okay.
And actually now I'm realizing it. When I said half and half, it really is just split down the middle more than I realized before saying it. So
Oh, nice.
Right. Right.
Well, we should just hop right into it. Now we not leave everybody in suspense. So 50, if you wouldn't mind kicking us off, what is your number 5?
the biggest franchise in the world, obviously.
No.
Now it's at number 5 because I went from the least likely to happen to the most probable to happen, plausible to happen. Pokemon is a tough subject to bring into a Lego game because it's already a video game franchise in and of itself, and B, just the combat system, this very specific combat system that Pokemon has all throughout the franchise is, I think, something that's going to be quite difficult and challenging to translate into the Lego video game style of doing things, and plus the whole catching Pokemon mechanic. Obviously, like the Lego games have this long list of characters that you can just collect, hundreds and hundreds of them. With Pokemon, you can only have like 6 on your team at any given moment, so there might be some creative creative liberties that need to be taken for this specific idea if this ever comes to pass. Also, plus there's the whole fact that right now Mega Bloks has the rights to making Lego. Sorry, building blocks styled Pokemon toys, and I wish it would. I wish Pokemon can have. Lego can have Pokemon Lego sets. It's nothing more than just a fanciful idea. Like, let's just. I said at the beginning, let's just have fun with it and fantasize which properties we want as Lego video games. And Pokemon is my number 5 because I it's two of my favorite franchises, and it would be nice to see them merge together.
Which it makes sense, and I got a feeling eventually they'll do that one. I have a feeling.
I really hope so. There's rumors and speculations that it was at one point considered for Lego Dimensions. I don't know how plausible that is. I mean, when after Lego Dimensions got canceled, so many other franchises were rumored to be part of to be added to Lego Dimensions Year 3, along the likes of the Shrek movies and even the Despicable Me franchise. I don't know how plausible that is, but it's a nice sentiment. I think it's nice to think about.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure they could figure it out.
Yeah.
And I figured they can just do an original story that involves a lot of the Pokemon characters.
But also, there's so much out there story-wise that it's going to be the same with a couple of my picks. There's so much story-wise that you can make your own original story based off elements of the past.
Yeah, and you can also have so many Pokemon characters in it, but also a lot of the human characters from all across Pokemon media, which includes like the anime, the video games, the card games, the spin-off games. Even Pokemon Go has a few original characters in it. So
and TT Games, Contact 50, about his Israel game.
Yes. Actually, that would be more Game Freak, and I really do not want them knowing that I'm making Pokemon games.
Well, I was going to say, TT is the one that does the designing of the games, the Lego games.
Do the Lego games. Game Freak is the one in charge of Pokemon games, and they have a long history of shutting down fan projects.
Well, to that I say.
Fuck them. But
Ben, what is there you go.
What's your number? What's your number 5, Ben?
Well, someone might call it inconceivable. But my number 5 is The Princess Bride.
Now that would be fun.
Nice.
That would be fun.
Let's think of going on that adventure in Lego form. I think there could be some really fun stuff in that game.
I agree.
My one negative about it is it seems a little too short for the Lego game. Seems to have these expansive worlds. Not to say that the Princess Bride world isn't huge and filled with lots of fun characters, because they usually tend to take like 2 or 3, sometimes 5 movies into one game. So for this game, imagine if they throw in Robin Hood Man in Tights, because it's also a Carrie Elwes property.
Hold on. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Oh,
Actually, I like where you're going, because here in Ben Say Princess Bride, I know that's the part of the reason why some of them are on my honorable mentions are like that, because they're singular films. I would just like to see them do a collection of like, here's a bunch of films we Lego-fied. Here you go. Here's a game. Like, just like you could choose between which one you want to play. That would definitely be one of them. I would want to see.
But going back to Princess Bride, there's still in that one movie so much you can do, both in the fictional world of the story, like with the forest and the. Can you imagine sailing the 7 seas as the Dread Pirate Roberts, and also the castle? So many other locations and places and characters they can adapt.
Yeah.
Plus, you can go switch back and forth with the reading the story to the kid. That could be fun.
and there's a lot of comedy that could come from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy. What?
Miracle Max, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
My name is Tingle Antonio, and I'm prepared to die.
You killed my father.
One of my favorite stories to ever come from behind the scenes of that movie is to do with Andre the Giant. They were filming a scene, and he let out the biggest, longest, loudest fart imaginable, to the point where like it lasted seconds. And Rob Reiner, once it was done, he turned to Andre. He said to Andre from the boom crane, he's like, "You good?" Andre's like, "I am now, boss."
I thought you were going in a completely different direction with that story.
That one always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh. Oh, and that his hand was big enough to completely cover Robin Wright to keep her dry from the rain.
I thought that was what you were going for.
No, I prefer the other one because it's funnier.
So no, I have a question. How long did Andre the Giant actually wrestle for?
Well, his last official match was in the early 90s, but he started, I think it was the late 60s. I know my dad saw him before he became big as Andre the Giant. My dad saw him under his original name, Jean Ferret, which is French translation of the Friendly Giant here in Canada. So yeah, he's been wrestling since like the late 60s at least.
Is he good?
You should go check out clips from back then, because he wasn't like as big as he was in his later days. He was more like agile, and he could do drop kicks and stuff like that. Like, I would definitely go check it out. It's pretty wild to see early Andre the Giant.
Right.
Yeah.
The real life.
Okay. Okay, Matt, you're number 5.
Okay. I want you to do me one favor. I want you to look right here. If it'll work. It's the Men in Black.
Oh, damn, that would be cool.
I didn't have any other sunglasses, and I didn't have a thing. Like,
I thought you were going. I thought you were going Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, it's the only sunglasses I had available to me in the last split second. No, it's the Men in Black. You've got 3 movies right there. You've got funny alien characters. You've got great
movies.
Sorry, I forgot about the one I haven't seen yet. International, I still haven't seen it. But yeah, so you've got the 4 movies. You've got 4 great comedic. The first 3, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, are pretty damn good. You've got all those set pieces, all like I said, all the aliens, all the humor. I think it will be a lot of fun, and you can do a lot of different things because a lot of the aliens all have different strengths. So, yeah, I think it would just be fun. It'd be great music, great stories. I think I'm surprised there's one that hasn't been done yet in some form or another.
Yeah, and also it's sort of a subsidiary area of Marvel. So
yeah,
Lego has worked with Marvel in the past.
Exactly.
As well.
I think it would be a snapping good time.
Too soon, Ben. Too soon.
Oh. Isn't really? Isn't.
No.
I don't think you can call it too soon now. But can you actually, in this proposed game, can you actually travel between past and the present and future or whatever using the time travel technology thing?
See, I would do it as playable levels for free play. This one I would kind of put it more into like the previous Lego games, like the Indiana Jones ones. That's how I would do it. Where like the main hub is the main headquarters, and then you go to a different door for every movie, and then you can do your free play that way. Yeah,
Sounds cool.
Yeah, because in truth, I don't know if any of these would actually benefit from the Skywalker Saga style of game. Well, you know what? No, my number one might. We'll get to that when we get to my number one. That one actually might benefit from the tightness of the Skywalker game and the bigness of the world.
I have to be honest with you. I don't hate the fourth. I mean, it's not good, but in my opinion, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson made a great pair.
Mm-hmm. I just never got around to seeing it.
Yeah.
I liked it too. And while I don't necessarily like the third one, there's a couple of really cool stuff in it, like the Lunar Max prison, which could be an explorable location in the game.
Exactly.
And I loved the way they did the time travel thing. First of all, it's pretty stupid that you have to jump a really tall place just to activate it. Yeah, whatever. The actual effect that actually takes you all the way back to the beginning of time.
That's pretty cool.
And fast forwards all the way to where you need to be. That was pretty cool. And another thing I really appreciated it is that when Will Smith actually travels all the way back to the 1960s, I think it was the 1960s.
Yeah.
All the aliens look like they came from a 60s movie with the 60s style of clothing and effects. Yeah. And it was really cool and a contrast to the more modern way of alien designs from.
I love how they had Andy Warhol be an undercover agent. Yeah,
that would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Right.
And here I loved Josh Brolin as a young Tommy Lee Jones. And I loved the villain. I loved Morris.
Well, it's Jermaine Clement. Like, who could not love Jermaine Clement, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Here's a quick trivia question. Who played Will Smith's dad in the movie?
Oh, good question. I actually don't know the actor who played him.
Yeah, me neither.
Mike Coulter, who played in Marvel's Netflix universe.
No way.
Shit.
Mike Coulter.
Really? Wow.
Huh.
As Soda struggles to look this up.
Well, yeah, wow. Mike Coulter. Huh.
Schmodown!
I mean, Schmodown.
No, I didn't know that. That's interesting, 50.
Wow. Well, there you go, 50 with the knowledge. Now, 50, what is your number 4, Mr. Knowledgeable?
It's hard because it's one of the ones I really, really want, but it kind of struggles with my number 3.
Oh.
But because my number 3 kind of seems a bit more plausible, I decided to put this one at number 4. And it might even get punted. Who knows? Lego Once Upon a Time.
Punt.
Never thought of it, but it would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. I figured if I put it as low as number 4, it might get punted. So
yeah.
Ben, go ahead.
Punt. My number 4. This is going to be an audible because I had something else, but I think this would be better. Lego Power Rangers.
Oh, I never thought of that. That would be freaking cool.
Each level could be a different Power Ranger series.
Yeah, that's true. That's enough.
Yeah.
I think that would be so fun finding villains and creating a big team to travel with you. Talk about the riches of opportunity with that game.
Yeah, you're right. I'm surprised that's one that hasn't been bandied about, just because there's so much you can pull from there. So much. You can make a franchise out of those video games.
And I just heard the next season of Power Rangers is going to be season 30.
Well,
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
and just imagine, not only you can have all the Rangers as playable characters, also all the villains. And you can turn giant size as the villains.
Yep.
And here's a bit of a fun fact. So, the idea of the villains turning into giant monsters, and then after you defeat them, you can catch them and use them, which is a part of this game, obviously, because you defeat a character, you can play
you
as
unlock them, and away you go.
But Power Rangers sort of came out of another Japanese Super Sentai show called Ultraman, where his every time he defeated the giant kaiju monsters, he captured them in these little capsules, which he carried on his belt, and then he used to throw them out to help him in battle, which is where the idea of Pokemon came from.
I don't
know if you know this, but Pokemon was originally going to be called Capsule Monsters when it was pitched, but they decided to change it to Pocket Monsters because they felt it was too on the nose. And
yeah, because Capmon does not have a good ring to it. It sounds like something you'd say if you're a Rastafarian. Capmon.
Capmon.
Capmon, how are you doing today, Capmon?
But yeah, Junichi Masuda and Satoshi Tajiri are huge Ultraman fans. And if you actually look at a lot of the Pokemon from first and second generation, they kind of look like kaijus from the Godzilla, Ultraman, and other subsidiary stuff. I mean, I can actually show you actual pictures of Pokemon paired up with those kaijus from those shows. You can kind of see where they got the idea from. But
Right.
Power Rangers, yeah. Nice.
That actually would be a good one. Yeah, that would be a really good one. Because, I mean, a lot of the people that play these Lego games probably grew up on Power Rangers.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Not to think about it as just toy manufacturing possibilities for Lego sets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Lego pride themselves on collectible characters and big playable set pieces.
Exactly. All right, so my number 4 is Jumanji.
Ooh.
Yes, and I
like that.
I was debating whether to make the first one like a bonus level, just because the other two have more connectivity. But yeah, I think all three of these would be a pretty fun game. Especially, I'm going to mostly focus in on the two ones with the Rock because I think they do lend itself more so. Because it's the fun, it's the adventure, all the wild stuff that happens. The humor fits.
Yeah.
No, there's just so much you can do. That, like you're. I mean, I was gonna say like main characters is not that many, but who cares? You collect all the random characters in the background too. No, I just think it fits. You don't need to change all that much to make it fit into the humor.
You could have. Sorry, 50 after you.
I was gonna say it's already video game styled.
Exactly.
You could have the characters from the first movie as like unlockable ones. Like you have to meet a certain level to unlock them.
And one of the things, like I'm going to use Indiana Jones as an example here, but one of those things is there's a bonus level based on something else from the Indiana Jones franchise. You could do that, but have when the animals attack the town as your bonus level.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my number 4, Jumanji. I think just be too much fun.
I like that.
Wasn't there supposed to be a third movie?
There probably is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised. Those movies make so much money.
It'd be stupid not to.
Right?
Well, don't you mean a fourth movie?
Well,
yeah, if you're including them.
I included because at the end of the last one, The Infinity Crew is all one universe.
Well, I know, but I mean, but there still are two vastly different movies, though.
No, I agree with you, but well, okay.
It's just yeah, it's yeah, they're in the same world, but it still is like that weird outlier just because it's so tonally different and it's darker.
Yeah,
It's well,
yeah.
it's the difference between classic Doctor Who and modern Doctor Who.
It's true. No, he's not wrong.
No, I know.
Still the same universe, but vastly different and updated
Yeah.
to the modern times.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, 50. You're number 3.
Well, this is the one that overtook Once Upon a Time as my number 3, which actually does follow along the same lines. Lego Disney. I mean, just Lego. Not all of it, obviously, but some select stuff. And you can have select stuff from every movie in the Disney animated canon, the Disney animated library, and just have fun with it, like what Disney Infinity should have been, but arguably wasn't. And you can just jump from one movie landscape to another, like from the Pride Lands all the way to Neverland and all the way to, like, I don't know, Snow White's place. And you can visit Snow White's hut with the 7 dwarves, and just the possibilities are quite literally endless. You can go into the video game realm with the Wreck-It Ralph movies, and you can just, I don't know, Treasure Planet, because that movie needs some love. You can go into the Hercules realm and you're muted, Soda, and you can go this way and you can go that way and go ahead.
Kind of like Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, exactly. Kingdom Hearts, but just keep it all one giant. This one could actually work with the new Skywalker Saga style, because Skywalker Saga has a massive galaxy. You can go visit to every planet. You can kind of do the same thing with Disney, with every Disney realm. Not to connect it too much to Once Upon a Time, obviously, but just every Disney area, and it all just kind of connects to one another.
That'd be great. Oh, God, that would be great. You'd have to tone down some of the earlier ones, but yeah.
Yeah, let's not get into that. But the thing is, the way I thought some of these. Well, actually, let's see if that let's pin that as the villain character from Bolt used to say. Let's put a pin in that and come back to it later, because it might tie into something else.
I do want to say I did have Wreck-It Ralph in my honorable mentions.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Ben, you're number 3.
It's a put familiar. Once upon a time.
Ah.
I mean, each level could be a different universe. And yeah, 50, you're right. It lends itself to being Lego. It can be so fun with all these characters in one game.
Yeah, and I always, again, this is one of those ones that I've had in my head for years and years now. I contemplated it back in 2015, I think, and how it would work. You can actually have Storybrooke as the main hub, but you can also travel to the Enchanted Forest, to Arendelle, to Neverland, to Agrabah now, because that wasn't around when I thought about it, but you can also go to Wonderland, and obviously the item that you really need the most would be a magic bean, because that helps you travel between different realms. Obviously, some of the more expensive and highly sought after characters in a game like that would be like mermaids, because they can travel between realms apparently.
Oh.
The Mad Hatter, because he can openly travel between realms. Jack the Giant Slayer, because she can travel between realms because she has a bag of magic beans. So any character with the ability to produce magic beans or travel between realms would be the most highly sought after characters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, you can have magical characters like Rumpelstiltskin and Emma Swan and Regina and all of that. And I'm not really sure if you can adapt the entirety of the story, or you can just do an original tale. But it would be nice to explore all these realms in their all these realms are so very, very highly detailed.
Mm.
And yeah, it would be nice to see that in a
I
video
agree.
game.
That would be fun. If there was that's one of the TV shows I would say definitely go for it. You do it because there's just so much there. And plus, you could also have it where, like, you could kind of like in the Marvel games where you switch between Hulk and Banner. You could do that with the real world characters and their fairy tale counterparts.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
the Rise of Skywalker, sorry, the Skywalker Saga kind of made that irrelevant because you can switch between all different forms of each character.
Yeah.
So,
Yoo! Now this is pod racing.
Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the kid's voice that they put for that because they recast everybody, right? I don't know. Not a fan of that kid's
well,
voice. It's-
when you say recast, I mean it
well,
depends on-
unlike the other ones where they use dialogue from the movie and sometimes brought
me
some
too.
actors back. This
I
one is-
actually like that. It felt authentic, and
yeah,
I love what they did for the Lego Force Awakens game, which was a
me
weird
too.
one.
Still my favorite one so far.
Yeah, but they actually brought the original actors
Yeah.
to voice new lines of dialogue.
Yeah,
for
the
their
one that
characters.
got to do Qui-Gon gives me a Sean Connery vibe.
I'm pretty sure that's Tom Kane.
You know,
It might be.
Does all the other stuff.
you know.
Yeah, should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers. All right, so my number 3 should make 50 happy. Flintstones, eat the Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Like that's another one. There's so much there that you can pull from to make your own original story. You can bring in the Great Gazoo for fun. You can bring in the Jetsons. Yeah, I mean, like, think of all the fun stuff you could do with prehistoric technology in a Lego game. Like, there's just so much there, and the humor lends. Again, another thing I'm hitting on with my choices. The humor lends itself to the style. Is that a Lego flood, Fred?
No, it's a salt shaker.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I also have Barney, but it's in the other room.
The only thing I have that's memorabilia wise is I've got a Fred Flintstone belt buckle with him bowling, but I don't wear it because it pokes my belly. But
Fun fact.
yeah, that's fuck Flintstones, man. Give it to me.
So in Lego Dimensions, because there are two specific Simpsons levels, there's one part of the main story and one that's just a Simpsons centered level. In both those levels, there is a sort of a landing pad for the TARDIS, and if you fly the TARDIS onto that landing pad and activate it, it actually takes you to the different places. Specifically for the Simpsons level in the story, it takes you to Bedrock, to the Flintstones house. If you go for the one that's in the other level, the one that's not part of the main story, it takes you to the Jetsons house. So they already did have.
And see, I didn't know that, but
Yeah,
they already done it, which means they could do it.
yeah, that's what I was going for. They clearly they have the love for it, and the subsection of those levels is pretty well done. It's very heavily detailed. I mean, yeah, you can only explore the house itself, but just the idea that the universe itself exists there is just.
Mm-hmm.
And also, fun fact: in some of the other levels, you can also do this with the TARDIS. It takes you to some Doctor Who episodes, select ones, but some of them also take you to the Red Dwarf ship, and I believe Star Labs from the Flash TV show.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
But yes, Flintstones is my number 3. I want to will that into existence.
Number two.
All right, 50. What's your number 2?
Okay, so this one is the only one on my list that already did have Lego games made for them, but could benefit from a remake because the ones that they made is kind of outdated at this point. Now, hear me out. New Lego Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
like I said, the first ones, while I love them dearly and they were a huge part of my life at one point or another, I can't remember what age I was, but they're really outdated, guys.
They are.
Yeah, they're still fun to play, but they could really, really, really do with a remake, a remaster, or a whatever. Putting all 8 movies, because apparently there's 8 movies, not 8 book, not 7 books, but putting all 8 movies into the same game, something they kind of already did with Rise of
And
Skywalker.
for fun, you can throw in Fantastic Beasts.
No,
Yeah.
how about we don't?
If
Thank
cut
you,
out
Ben.
all the shit from those movies, I think they would work.
But here's the thing. The original Lego Harry Potter games really revolved around Hogwarts being the main setting. The second one, they kind of added some new locations, which was a little jumbled together, but still worked somehow. Imagine what they can do with the new open world style that they've introduced in Lego games that came out since. Remember, this is before they introduced the idea of an open world similar to what we got in Lego Batman 2, which was really their first foray into open worldness. This is really before the Lego Marvel games. This is even before the Lego Lord of the Rings games, where they brought the entirety of Middle Earth into a Lego game where you can actually walk from the Shire all the way to Mordor and back. So imagine, first of all of Hogwarts will be explorable. Plus, you can actually, after you unlock it, obviously, you can actually travel from Hogwarts on foot all the way to Hogsmeade. You can explore the Dark Forest, and just as a bonus, you can also throw in Little Wingig in there.
Yeah.
Number 12 Grimmauld Place, the Ministry for Magic,
Privet Drive.
It doesn't Terminator.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but I just said Little Wingig. That kind of covers all of Privet Drive as well.
Right.
Doesn't it?
Sorry, my bad. I forgot that was the big city. My bad.
What else? Here's the thing. You can actually go to St. Mungo's Hospital for magical melodies and injuries. You know, something the movies should have done, but didn't.
Yeah, 100% agree.
You can do that in the
on that,
game.
my friend. You cut out one of the biggest plot points for a secondary character. Why, guys? Like that. That is my favorite part of that book.
And the movie itself is so short. You could have added a 10-minute
shortest
scene.
movie, longest book. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get his second shortest movie, but you can imagine you can ride the night bus. You can also travel. Obviously, I mean, Diagon Alley and Nocturne Alley and the Leaky Cauldron were already kind of parts of the first 2 games, but now you can make them bigger and more expansive. Go to all the shops you couldn't go in the original games. You can actually explore Gringotts as opposed to it just being a place for unlockables like it was in the original game. Like, there's just the Forest of Dean could be a location. Malfoy Manor can be a location. You can actually have the Gaunt's home and the House of Riddle. There's so many places you can go in these games.
Goblet of Fire.
The what?
The maze. Think about how big you can make that.
Yeah, the maze. You can also have, speaking of Goblet of Fire, the area where the Quidditch World Cup was held. Yep. Because that area does show up in the 7th book also.
That's true.
So, yeah, there's so much you can make with this game. Mm-hmm. Please, TT Games, give us the Harry Potter. And also, not only that, by the time the last Harry Potter game came out, the Lego Harry Potter theme was kind of canceled. I mean, it was done at that point. They recently brought it back a couple of years ago, and it's one of the most successful things they've ever done. Oh, so, I mean, there's always precedent for it that it could work. People love the Harry Potter games. People want to see this happen. Yeah. Make it so.
Wrong franchise, but I agree. Make it so.
Yeah, and I couldn't find anything else. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, fair point. Which is another one I'm surprised nobody's brought up, Lego Star Trek. But, yeah.
I mean, if Frenchie or Snark were here.
Probably. All right, Ben.
Well, if anybody knows me, I think they know what I'm going to say next. Maybe they would think it would be my number 1, but nope. Back to the Future trilogy.
Yep. And for fun with that, you can make bonus levels out of the animated series.
Yeah. And the ride. Don't forget about the ride.
Yeah.
Each level could be a different movie.
Yep. And that's another one. The humor aligns itself with the style of game.
Exactly. I mean, imagine playing Ashdock and Marty traveling in that DeLorean. That would be so.
I actually can imagine that because I played Lego Dimensions and they were in that game.
Yeah, but not everybody has 50.
The lucky few. The lucky few.
Yeah. I just know if I started playing that, I probably would have been broke from buying everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, that's my number 2.
That's all you have to say in your favorite film franchise.
What?
That's all you have to say in your favorite film franchise.
I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's fun, it's funny. I think each level can be really. Can you imagine going to the 50s and playing that story out, or the
Wild
2000? What?
The Wild West.
The Wild West?
Yeah.
The future? Imagine going to the riding a hoverboard as a Lego character.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Hell no. Hell yeah.
I love those movies. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. That's another one I for the 50th anniversary, they have to do.
And they just, on Ben's birthday, no less, released a new version of the Lego DeLorean set, which is actually all 3 versions of the DeLorean in one.
Nice.
Cool.
So yeah, you have to buy 3 of them to have all 3 versions of the DeLorean, but whatever. The thing is, though, in the Lego Dimensions...
they did the same thing with that sucker. There's 3 different models.
Yeah, but is it Lego?
No, but it lights up and it makes noises.
Shut up! But in the Lego Dimensions Back to the Future hub world, the hub world is Hill Valley in the 80s. You can travel to the future Hill Valley and to Wild West Hill Valley.
Yep.
Which leaves 50s Hill Valley and alternate present Hill Valley unaccounted for. So
really,
yeah, you can't. I mean, it's on the Hill, that version of Hill Valley, or Hell Valley as it was called in the movies. It's on the artwork of the box, but you can't access it. Or maybe there's something I haven't figured out. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, you can have all 5 versions of Hill Valley in one game and play as all these amazing characters, which some of them were played by the same actor.
I'm guessing Tom F. Wilson. I mean, he used his voice.
I was referring to Michael J. Fox playing his older self and his son.
Okay. I see what you mean.
There's plenty of people who do great Michael J. Fox impressions. Hell, get Topher Grace to do it. He does a good one.
Yeah. And here's a fun notion. How about, and follow me here, what if Crispin Glover can actually be in the second movie?
He would say no.
Yeah, he's not.
A Collider Live interview, he would say no.
Yeah. I was just wishful thinking.
Oh no, I'm with you. I would love for him to return to the franchise. I just have a feeling as long as Bob Gale is still alive, that's not happening.
I would also love I don't know even if she's still alive, the original Jennifer to come back.
Oh, she would. She's still alive. They could probably get her. Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
My number 2 is the oldest property on this list.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
It's Robin Hood.
Oh.
Now.
Oh.
Older than I thought.
But do the humor of Men in Tights, but apply it to the full myth. That way you would get a full game out of it, because there's a lot of stories that those movies don't touch.
Yeah. And you can have multiple versions of Robin Hood.
multiple versions of Robin Hood, multiple versions of all the character. Hell, if you want to have fun with it, bring in the Fox ones as unlockable characters.
Yep.
But there's just so much to that lore. There's so many stories. If we're going back to medieval Robin Hood, if you take that, you adapt it to a Lego, I think you have a lot of fun because everybody knows who Robin Hood is. He's one of the earliest superheroes in a way, vigilantes, right? Rob from the rich, give to the poor. There's just so much here that you could mine. I think it would make a very good game.
I have two versions of Robin Hood that you could include.
Mm.
One include the one from Once Upon a Time.
I was going to ask that.
Great. What?
As like unlockable characters or maybe a DLC or something like that.
Right. And two, include Oliver Queen, aka the Green Arrow. Yeah, he's basically Robin Hood.
In a way, yeah. I would, like I said, I would throw in the Disney one. I would throw in a Lego variant of Errol Flynn because it's still probably the most iconic. And I would even throw in a Lego variant of Kevin Costner.
Question, though. Are we including the one from Doctor Who in this?
I mean, we could. I'm not making the game, but we could.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, like that. That'd be again. That would probably be in like that unlockable DLC type thing.
What about the Taron Egerton version from a couple of years ago?
Bonus level.
I never saw that. Isn't that really that bad?
I never saw it either. It sounds like it's a modern retelling, but set in the past. It's really weird. It's like Batman Begins, but not good. It's what I've heard. It's like Batman Begins, but not good.
Batman Ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, like another movie that just came out.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it is honorable mention time.
Yeah.
50.
Okay, so since I'm going first, I just decided to forego the idea of honorable mentions for this list and just took a bunch of ones and compiled them into a number 6 on my list.
Okay, what you got?
Because I had so many ones I wanted, but I figured that all of them kind of fall into the same category, so might as well make an entire game out of it and call it Lego Sitcoms.
Ooh,
Nice.
I love it.
Now you can have Lego Friends, the TV show, not the Lego theme. Lego Friends, The Office, The Big Bang Theory, Seinfeld, all of which have Lego sets based around them.
Mm-hmm.
Just pointing that out. Also, some stuff that don't have Lego sets, like How I Met Your Mother, The Jeffersons, Family Matters, Home Improvement, all the Saved by the Bell, Malcolm in the Middle, all the Lego sitcoms in the world. Hell, I Love Lucy,
Yes,
the
I
original.
would include the Men in Tights as another unlockable level. Sorry about that.
But yeah, I Love Lucy, the original, you might say.
Yeah, the very first sitcom. Yeah.
So yeah, just throw all of that, mash all of it into one game and just have it be like The Sims, where it's just one big major city where all these houses just happen to have different sitcoms, but somehow it's in the same city.
You could have the Cheers bar at the location.
Yes. You can have Ray Romano's house from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
And obviously, of course, his parents' house was right next to it.
Yeah.
And
Central Perk.
Central Perk.
Central Perk.
What's the diner in Seinfeld?
Monk's Cafe.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
And if we're talking about Seinfeld, might as well throw in the Soup Nazi as a playable character.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, what are you? He throws soup balls at people.
You can even make a side trip to Quahog.
Ooh, and Springfield.
Yes. Yeah. South Park.
Yeah, you missed it, Soda. You missed it.
What did I miss?
This. Cheers might as well have Frasier as a DLC level. So, there's so many options. And here's what I wanted to say earlier, but decided to put a pin in it for now. Is just the way they did the Doctor Who world in Lego Dimensions, where you use the TARDIS to travel to different planets, but then flick a switch, and that entire planet gets added to the main hub world. That's just London. So yeah, the main hub world is London, but you can add pieces from other planets to it once you travel to them. You can add stuff from Skaro and Telos and 1880s London and all kinds of other places. You can do the same thing for the sitcoms idea. It's great. It's perfect, and I can't believe I thought about it.
I love it, 50. I love it.
Yeah, that's why I decided not to do honorable mentions instead of just going for a number 6. Because it encapsulates so many other things.
That's the perfect way to go do it.
Yeah.
And of course, you need a certain character to unlock doors, and the way you unlock doors is by doing Penny.
Oh, God.
Penny.
Nice. Nice.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
All right, Ben, what about you? Got any honorable mentions?
Yes, I have 4. Terminator, Alien, RoboCop, and Independence Day.
Okay, so one
Wow,
of
you
those.
really went for the hard ones, didn't you?
Oh, I'm gonna. Ready for mine?
Yes.
Oh no.
Alien.
Oh, no.
Here. The Fast and Furious series.
That could work. That could work.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Same.
Willy Wonka.
Ooh.
I'm talking to Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka.
And you can add the newer one as a later addition.
George of the Jungle.
Cool.
Nice.
Supernatural. Die
With
Hard.
the Scooby-Doo DLC level.
Die Hard. The Incredibles.
And that already exists, but they can do a remake.
I did not know that. They did it with honorable mentions.
It's really good. It's really
Mission
good.
Impossible. That's the only one I haven't played it. Mission Impossible
Okay.
and
Another
the
mention.
Oceans franchise.
And the what?
The Oceans franchise. Oceans 11, 12,
Ooh.
13, and 8.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. That's a lot of honorable mentions. I think it's like the most I've ever had. That's 11 right there.
Thing is, your last one was Ocean's 11. It made sense you had 11.
All right. So now it's our number 1 time. So 50. Number 1.
Do I even have to say it?
No, yeah.
So here's the thing. Because there were it's not just obviously it would have been my number 1 anyway, as you know, but because it's also my number 1 because a couple of months ago there were some legit rumors that this might actually happen. A Lego Doctor Who game for the 60th anniversary next year. There were some legit rumors from some legitimate sites at the time that TT Games was proposing that idea. And as I mentioned multiple times on this same episode, Doctor Who was already a major part of Lego Dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
They already have some of the characters already in the backlot of just how the characters would look like in Lego forms, how some of the levels and locations would look like. They could do it. Like I said, it's the 60th anniversary. Why wouldn't you do one for Doctor Who?
Yeah.
The greatest show in the galaxy.
It's big enough.
Yeah, and you already have all the doctors up to Capaldi. You just need to add Whittaker and Joe Martin in there. And I guess if you want to go the Morbius doctors, yeah, but whatever. But yeah, there's and also it will be an original story. And the rumors did propose that it would be an original story, one for each doctor, but also they would add bonus levels that adapted select levels, from select episodes from each doctor, one per each. Not sure what they were planning to do for the War Doctor, but whatever. But I mean, it could work. It's a massive, expansive universe. You can go to Gallifrey, to Skaro, to Rexacoricofallapatorius. You can go to Mondas, Telos,
Utopia.
I don't know, Apachia, Akaten, all these, the Campbell, Exelon. I can just sit here and name planets they can adapt into the into.
And trust us, folks, he could. that's not a hyperbole.
And not just a list of planets, a list of characters, and a list of species they can adapt. Obviously, the Daleks and Cybermen and Sontaran, Ice Warriors, Slitheen, Jadoon, Menoptera, Zarbi. I don't know, an Artron Warrior robot, a Raston Warrior robot. Sorry. I mean,
all different versions of the Cybermen, all different versions of the Daleks.
Yeah, all different versions. Not that much, but all different versions of Sontarans. Obviously, Drax
all the different masters.
Yeah, just have the master be like what they did with the Doctor. Every time he dies, he regenerates into a different incarnation, and there is enough to make at least 10. So, I mean, I don't see why
the master could be the main villain, just as you go along and regenerate.
Of course, you would be. You can have the master. I don't know, the master teaming up with Davros and the Cyber Planner or whatever. I don't know. It's such a great idea. It's a treasure trove of ideas. I can't imagine that. And also gotta say, Doctor Who games haven't really been that good. Just saying, but yeah, it could absolutely benefit the most from a Lego game adaptation in the style of the Skywalker saga. Do it.
Can I ask you a question? Would you have any companions on the game too?
Of course. I mean, you have to. Obviously,
and then you can make all the ones that don't make the main story unlockable companions.
Yeah, you can even have some of the non-TV ones as unlockable characters. You can have characters like Molly O'Sullivan or Frobisher, Bernice Summerfield, obviously. You can have Iris Wildtime in there if you wanted to. I mean, obviously, in the here's an idea. In Lego Dimensions, in the Lego Doctor Who levels, there's obviously you have to, in every single level you have to rescue a certain character from each franchise you visit to. For Doctor Who, obviously it was Clara Oswald. So what if you can every time you rescue a companion like Clara or Rose or Tegan, or I doubt you would need rescuing, but Leela, or I don't know, Victoria Waterfield. Once you rescue them, you unlock them as playable characters.
Exactly.
And they're just all the companions just spread out all across time and space and the hub world. I mean, I can just sit here all day and make ideas for it. And I haven't even recorded an episode of The Greatest Show in the Galaxy yet. I still got to save some of my Doctor Who mind to that.
Yeah. And definitely we should move on to Ben's pick now, because we know, like, trust me, I'm with you. That is a game that is a must. I would play the shit out of that game. I cannot wait for the Doctor Who game that is coming out, though.
Which one?
What the hell is it called? Doctor Who game. Give me a second.
Because there was one that was released last
year.
No,
it's the new one, The Edge of Time.
That was released already.
I did not know that. I want to cry. Okay, I didn't know that. Anywho, Ben, you're number one.
Okay, my number one is based on a TV show that lasted one season and has a massive cult following. You can have it episodic levels, travel to different planets. You have a great crew. Firefly.
I like it.
Wow.
No. Don't get me wrong. It is Lego. It's just similar to I don't know if there's enough there to make a full-length big game like that, but I do love the idea of a Lego game, though. I do. Depends on what style you would do it in.
I'll be honest, I thought I wouldn't get a bigger reaction. Okay.
You can also add the movie if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's true. You can include the movie, and of course there are the comics and stuff like that. So yeah. I guess there is enough stuff to do it. It would be a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, there is a lot of the characters. Of course, it fits in with the humor, good storytelling, like 50s thing. Different places in space and all that stuff. Oh yeah, it would be a good one.
Any thoughts about N50 or no?
I never saw Firefly, so I have nothing to
Oh,
compare.
really?
Wow,
Wow.
that's a show that has you written all over it.
Yeah. Wow, I'm shocked. We have
But
to fix that. We have to fix that.
Yeah, it's only like what 8 episodes in the movie.
oh,
I
really?
think
That
thinking.
It only did the one season. Hold on. Yeah.
I
I
thought
think it's like
one season was longer,
Nope. Hold on.
maybe 15.
which does make sense if you want to make each episode its own level.
Yeah,
Hold on. I got the Blu-ray right here.
of course you do.
Shut up. 11. Actually, it's 14 episodes. Sorry, my bad.
So yeah, it fits perfectly with the Lego model of level making.
I stand corrected. And then as the final level, the movie
The movie.
Yeah.
Serenity. I stand corrected. I'm sorry, Ben.
Okay, what's your number one?
One that,
And then
like 50s, Doctor Who has so much, but it would all have to take place on Earth, unfortunately. Dun-dun, 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 007.
oh wow.
Bond. That is one you have all the different Bond characters that can all have different characteristics. All the villains, all the gadgets. You can make it work with the humor like they did with Star Wars originally. All the different locations. There's just so much there you could do. This is a game that would definitely fit into that new Skywalker Saga style. Lego James Bond.
Here's what I'll say, because when I proposed Doctor Who, I proposed it in the same style of the Lego Skywalker, the Skywalker Saga, where you can go to different planets, but those planets would be smaller and much more condensed, and all the important stuff will be mostly in one location. For a Lego James Bond game, you can have the entire world, all of planet Earth, every country in the world, even under the water. When I know some stuff happens in James Bond underwater, you can have all of it. So while you don't have multiple planets, you have one planet, but you can go anywhere. And isn't there like one movie where he goes to space?
Moonraker.
Yep.
Yeah, you can have that. So yeah, it would make perfect sense for a Skywalker Saga.
You can play as Sean Connery, you can play as George Lazenby, you can play as Roger Moore, you can play as Timothy Dalton, you can play as Pierce Brosnan, you can play as Daniel Craig. Hell, for a bonus level, bring in the what's his face? Peter Sellers version of Casino Royale.
I was going to say as a bonus person, we get Mike Myers as Austin Powers.
Young James Bond. That was actually a property in the early 90s.
Oh.
And you can do it with the Bonds. You can do it just like they did with the A-Team and the Ghostbusters, where you get one character that you can switch between all of them.
Yeah, there you go. And you give, and to differentiate them a little bit, give them all certain things that the others can't do.
Yeah, like what they did with the Doctor in Lego Dimensions. Each one has a different walking animation, different attacks, sort of different gadgets and different bonuses. Yeah, that could work.
Yep.
I love that.
Now I just want all these freaking games. And I want my games out of the house so I can play Lego Star Wars. So that's an end to the list. Now, Ben, it is your turn to pick for next week.
Okay, I got a topic based on something from Bill and Ted. Excellent Adventure.
That's random.
I know, this is a random one. Top 5 fictional characters you want to bring to the modern age and show them around.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Bill and Ted, those are not fictional characters. They do that.
I know, but...
Did you mean historical characters?
Hmm?
Did you mean historical characters?
No, I meant fictional.
Fictional from the past. Okay. I get it.
I know I had parents...
Kind of like what the Doctor did, Vincent Van Gogh.
Right.
A fictional version. Okay, I I dig
No,
it.
but that's not fictional. That's
It's a
historical.
fictionalized version of a real character. I mean, in real life, do you think that Vincent Van Gogh actually fought that monster?
No, that's not what I meant.
I'm bugging you.
So, fictional
No.
fictional versions of historical characters.
No, they're fictional characters.
Yeah, but he's asking, can we include fictional versions of historical?
Yeah, you can include that if you want.
Cool. I like that
Okay.
list. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've been having some banger lists lately.
It's the holiday season.
Yeah, just the season for chocolate and for the bellies.
I gotta maybe not for on air, but I gotta ask you, what the hell does Jesus's rebirth have to do with rabbits that give you chocolate eggs? I never understood that. What?
Just like, why does Jesus' birth have to do with a fat guy in a red suit? It's commercialism.
That one actually does make sense because on Christmas Day there was a priest called Saint Nick who's traveled door to door to give presents to people. What does this chocolate bunny have to do with this?
It's all commercialism, man. It's just like it's been pretty much proven that Jesus' birthday wasn't December 25th. It's just tied in. Yeah, that's a
And what does St. Patrick's Day have to do with a little green leprechaun?
And getting drunk off your ass.
Yeah.
Because Irish.
No, not really. It's an American version of the holiday. They
Really?
only do that over here.
I did not know that because I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, most of us don't either.
Anywho.
Yeah. All right. So with that, and with fun task ahead of us, thank you very much for watching the show, guys. This has been a very fun list. 50 Shades of Lego. Excuse me. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek. I just did a coverage of my visit to Israel Comic Con that happened over the last couple of days. You can also find me playing Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga on my Twitch, potentially later tonight. Also later tonight, me and some other people on this channel are doing a T ranking list of all the Wizarding World movies. So check us out on that. And also, I have a show on this channel called The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, where I talk about the aforementioned Doctor Who in great detail. And it's another week of Dalek month, as I like to call it. So be there or be exterminated.
All right.
Exterminate. You guys can find me at my Twitter, Ben_Rainer. You can also find me over on my YouTube channel, The Multiverse of Geekdom. Every Monday at Geek Time, every Tuesday on Jedi Academy, every Sunday on Unwind with Ben. You can also find me here every weekend with these two fine people, and every Thursday on Rewind That Tape is Soda here.
And as for myself, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me on the shows that these two have mentioned on this channel. Later today, you can find me over on the Dropkicks on the Let's Get Ready Twitch channel, where myself and Dago will be discussing the week in wrestling. And then on Wednesday nights, you can find me over on this channel on the Squared Slice, where myself and Dustin, we just talk all things wrestling. This past week, we had George Shire on and went over the history of the AWA, the American Wrestling Association. A great episode. Definitely check that out. If you want to watch Soda sit down like a giddy schoolboy, that's the episode to watch. Because what Doctor Who is to 50, professional wrestling is to me. So, on behalf of myself, 50, and Ben, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave your comments in the video, in the chat, and tell us what franchises you would like to see Legofied. So, we will see you next week, folks, on the Northern Countdown. So long.
Happy Passover.